next? We're going to go down here below our cursor here, or below our, sorry, row 10. You guys, sorry, I have major brain fog. All right. In that, we're going to work on what's called the fill handle. So in cell C12, I'm going to type Monday, enter. I'm going to go back and put my cursor in cell C12. Just hover my mouse, select that cursor, and move your cursor to that lower right-hand corner of C12. It gives a thick black little cross. If you press and hold on that cross and drag over, it starts giving you the days of the week, and it's going to continue to do that. It will also go down and do the same thing. That cursor is what we call the fill handle. It will also work with days, with months. So January, you can fill over or fill down. It will also count for you. So for it to count for you, this is really hard, so listen up. For it to count for you, you have to tell it how you want to count. Do you want to count by ones, by twos? How do you want it to count? So you got to, it's a little different than the Monday, Tuesday, or January. You're going to hit 1, enter, 2, enter. So we're going to tell it to count by ones, starting with 1. Then we have to select 1 and 2 and release our mouse. So I hit 1, enter, 2, enter. So I typed 1, 2 to count by ones, selected those 2, moved my cursor in this lower right-hand corner, and drag down. Okay. It'll also do the same across. What it will also do is count by twos for you. So if I go 2, 4, and I select 2 and 4 and drag down, it will count by twos, and same thing across. Now it will count all of these across. So if I select 2, 4, 3, 6, 4, 8, 5, 10, 6, 12, 7, 14, and fill over, this is my fill handle, that black little cross. It counted by twos, threes, fours, fives, sixes, and sevens. So what I basically made here is a times chart, a multiplication chart. Now, guys, if you didn't get that, go back and try it again. Don't type these numbers just to get credit for that. Let me show you again. You have to type 1, enter, 2, enter. So like right here, I have to type 1, enter, 2, enter. Then I go back and select those 2 numbers. Move my cursor to that lower right-hand corner of the second number and fill over. Because guys, if I just select the 1, even if I type 1, 2, and I fill that down, it just gives me a bunch of, it works like copying. It just gives me a bunch of 1s. Okay. So you're like, Ms. Cruz, that's great and all, but when am I ever going to use this? Okay. Let's say that in Mr. Waz's science class, he wants you to test something 10 times and to record the results. So in an Excel sheet, and you're like, oh, so you have to type like test 1. And then you have to type test 2, test 3, blah, blah, blah. You don't. Type test 1 and fill it over. Or maybe you want to type first attempt. Fill it over. It should give you like second attempt, third attempt, fourth attempt. So it'll count for you that way too. It's kind of cool, kind of helpful. Okay, so that's what we call the move. Sorry, I don't know why I keep saying that. The fill handle. F-I-L-L, fill handle. So the fill handles, the black cross, the cell selector cursors, the Y cross, the row column selector is the black down arrow, and the row selector is the black right arrow. All right. The last thing we're going to do on this today is to work with what we call like delete and insert. So let's go here. Let's go up here to F7 and type DEL. Enter. Okay. Now, if I wanted to add to delete, like I needed to put the actual word delete, and I just clicked in the cell and typed ETE, then that's all it will give me. It's called overtype. But if you want to add to the cell, this is what you're going to do. You're going to click up here in your formula bar where you want to add text and type ETE. Does that make sense? But then press enter. But if I wanted that to say erase instead, I wouldn't need to click in the cell. This is what kids do all the time. They double click in the cell and then they hit delete, 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 and then they type what they want. Just click in the cell and type. So where it says delete, just click in the cell and type erase. And that's called overtype. Okay. Hey guys, so a couple of things before you submit this and start the word find is in Excel. Two things we're going to learn to do here is one, you can adjust your column width. So when we did auto fit, it doesn't only just make things like your column width bigger, it will make your column width smaller. So like right here, if I double click between B and C, it makes column B big enough just to meet this entry here. So that's what autofit is. But I can also just use this to like widen one column. So do this with me. So hover your mouse between B and C, double click first, and then make B just a little bit bigger by dragging it out. You can do the same thing for B, C, and D. Let's say that you wanted to make all of those a certain width. You would go here to Format, Column Width, and you could type like 10. And then those three columns would be adjusted to 10. The other thing is, we went over this at the very beginning. In a book, there can be multiple sheets. So down here for sheet 1, let's rename that vocab. So the way to rename it is by going down here where you see sheet 1 and double clicking. Again, can I 2-finger click or control click and choose rename? That is, sometimes that's easier, but I always think it's easier just to double click it and rename this vocab, like vocabulary. Okay. And again, you just kind of toggle back and forth between those for different sheets, but they're all under the same file or the same book. All right, let's save. Save this as Learning Excel. You don't have to type in all caps. I don't know why I did that. And then put it in your computers folder. All right, guys, so now that just save it one more time and X out of it. Now that you're ready to submit the file, hop to your Canvas. Click on Start Assignment, Upload File, choose File, go to your OneDrive, and find the Learning Excel in your OneDrive. And click on it and hit Open, Submit. You're done with this assignment. And that completes this activity.